right, hello there everyone. I've just forgot that I haven't done the description. I'll do it after it sounds. This is just a stream just to say hello to you. It's been a minute since I've done a live stream with you. You can see I've even got the StreamYard logo. I forgot to upgrade it back to the subscription, because basically on StreamYard there's plans. So there's like the free version, then you've got the version where you can add your own stuff, and I cancelled it because I weren't using it for months, so I didn't see a point in paying 20 quid a month for something like that. So before the stream, I forgot to buy that. I forgot to do the description. I forgot to monetize the video, so I'm making no money as we speak. But that being said, I was here to chat for about 20 minutes, half an hour about Liverpool stuff anyway. Even football stuff, depending on what you want to talk about with me. But yeah, mate, it's just been ages. I've missed you very, very much. I need to get my hands out of frame and camera. I feel like that's a big, big mistake that I've made throughout my whole YouTube career. It's just I always put my hands in the screen. I've definitely got ADHD of some form. No offense to people who have been diagnosed with ADHD. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm saying I've got it. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm just saying it means hands get moved and I speak very quick. It's just one of those things. Being Scouse and ADHD, not a good combination. Oh, wow. There's a lot of people in this chat. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Drunk Vigo, big up, my man. TJ Warren, it's one of those things when you're reading the comments out and everyone's saying hello. I just love all of you, you know what I mean? This stream's going to be about you interacting, you asking me questions, I respond. Also, if I make a point and you want to respond, feel free to do so. This is the platform where we can do it. It's one of those things where I like people who counter me points, and that's why I like live streams, because I feel like when I'm chatting shit, you can then say, James, you're chatting shit, and we can then correct ourselves. Also, I notice in the pre-records, I make quite a few mistakes in a sense of, I genuinely, for instance, I called Alexis McAllister, Gary McAllister about 20 times in the video. I could have easily been corrected by that if that was a live stream. So yeah, it's one of those things. I was in the middle of reading out loads of comments, but I'll blame the ADHD on why I can't read them all. Anyway, Kenneth Hendrickson, James, we need some homegrown players, in a sense of English players, because I believe we've got enough of them, because we've got Joe Gomez, we've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones. These are players who aren't leaving. We've got Jordan Henderson, he's not leaving. That's 5 that I can think of. Now, here's another thing is that the players are going to be coming back from loan, so the Tyler Mortons, the Leighton Clarksons, 1 or 2 of them might get sold, fair dues, but I don't really see it being a big problem, having homegrown play. I understand that it fills the gap and whatever have you, but is there an external reason why you want homegrown players? Do you believe the culture within this country is what benefits Liverpool Football Club? Because based on England's track records, I do not see a point in just focusing solely on English talent. But unless you mean for the numbers, then I suppose that's a different conversation. James, you were born to be on camera. To be honest, I'm not going to lie, I agree. I think God assigned us to certain roles, and I think my role was to sit. I could never play footy, so I thought I'd talk about it, maximise the vocals, you know what I'm saying? Out of all Klopp teams, who excites you the most? Who excites me the most? Champions League winning team, no doubt. No ifs, ands, or buts, because that was just a great team. Shout out to 17-18 Liverpool team. Believed we finished 3rd, or was it 4th? And we got to a final against Real Madrid. We lost the game. Salah got injured. Screw you, Ramos. But what a glorious season of exciting football and slander. We've got 100 people in the stream. You know what that means. I'm going to be one of those YouTubers. I never used to agree with the sentiment of asking people for likes. I was like, if you want to like it, just like it. Like the video. It takes you a second. It's free content. I haven't even monetized this stream either. So if you can like it, it gets more out there and stuff like that. Would you be happy if Taram Kone and McAllister as our midfield rebuild this summer, including centre-back and right-back? By the way, chat, let me know if my mic bit loud, bit low. Let me know if I'm clear. Let me know if the Wi-Fi is booming because man is using data. Yes, I'm very happy with that trio. I believe Thiago, Henderson, Fabinho, these are 3 players which are now on the other side of the hill. I believe Thiago is one of those luxury players that you massively benefit of having as an option, as someone who can now play once every 3 games, and that's fine because you're getting these 3 absolute workhorses. And listen, they're not all workhorses. You've got a little bit of technical ability there in McAllister. I don't dispute that the work rate can improve there on McAllister's point of view. Work rate's one of the easiest things to improve in football. Furthermore, you've got Taram and Kone. Now, Taram and Kone, I've looked a little bit more into them since I've done a video earlier. I'm now starting leaning towards Kone more. Chat, are we saying Kone or are we saying Taram? That's one of the questions in the video. Therefore, I'd be very intrigued to know what yous are all saying. I'm skipping loads of comments to catch up. There's also a super chat. Shout out to Shark Mini. Why not Mini Shark? Why is it Shark Mini? Is that your name? Because if so, that's a cool name. If not, why are you Spanish but you're making English names? Why isn't it the other way around? I appreciate the Bluey. I appreciate a fiver. A Bluey is a fiver in Liverpool. Why? But I ask these type of questions. I feel like they're important to ask. So, shout out to Joy, bringing joy to the stream. Love how Gary is overrated now. Liverpool. Gary. Gary's overrated. Who's Gary? Are you on about Alexis and are you calling him Gary? Because I call him Gary because I don't think he's overrated. I think he's a good player. But if it's not that Gary, then what Gary? Mike's great. Fantastic. Voice is good. Look at you giving me compliments in the midst of all this. Yeah, Thuram or Kone, guys, I really want to know this on your front. It's important I get your opinions as well. I'm seeing a couple of Kones, but I'm seeing a couple of Thurams. I'm saying it's 2-2 so far, me. 2-2. I'm seeing 2 for Thuram there, 4-2 to Thuram. Then you've got 1 back there for Kone. A better fit from a defensive perspective. I like this from my man. Mr. Lucas, you're right, I agree. I think from a defensive perspective, you've got Kone, who's got the legs, but then he has got a little bit of that technical ability as well. And I saw people trying to do the Thuram is like Yaya Toure thing. I don't know if I agree. I think Yaya Toure is a different level. One of the best midfielders of all time that's ever graced the Premier League. I'm just saying, I don't think Thuram is that level, nor should he be. He's 22. Do I see what people mean when they see traits of Yaya Toure? Yeah, I suppose. And I like the signing. I think it'll be a good signing. I originally preferred Thuram. I think he had a slightly better resume, but now I've looked a bit more into Kone. I'm liking Kone. So I'm a little bit spoiled for choice, but here's the thing that I'm going to tell you before I read the comments again. Make sure you're still leaving them, and love to every single one of you who have came and supported the stream so far. I will not sit here and say Liverpool are for sure going to get both midfielders. I think it's ludicrous to say based on the model that we've built in recent years and the persistence that we've had on getting all of the targets in which we hope to get. I feel like we failed on a good amount, and I feel like it would be rather delusional for me to be optimistic of being able to achieve both of these transfers back to back. 2 young hot prospects coming out of France. You know, France is one of the leading places for making quality ballers, and these 2 are quality ballers. And don't dispute, when I saw the PSG links today of these 2 players being linked to PSG, I shit myself, because there's just certain players that we can't buy if a certain team goes in. Manchester United could go out and buy Casemiro willy-nilly because they can offer certain things that we just cannot offer, but there's certain players that we cannot buy, whereas Thuram and Kone fit the profile. Thuram is on 14k a week at Nice. 14k a week, you bring them into the office, you say, we're going to quadruple your wage, we're going to change your life, it's going to be a red panty night, and we're going to win some Premier Leagues together. But we need to be urgent, and we need to get on that right now. And apparently that is the case, which is why I'm here to bring you the news of Thuram possibly joining the club. Now, just because we're reaching out for Thuram doesn't mean he's going to sign, doesn't mean personal terms are agreed. So if you do see anyone saying that, they're lying. But one thing that does remain for sure is that Liverpool are looking for midfielders, and I am excited to see who it's going to be. I feel it's one of those things where 2 midfielders, yeah, I'll take 2 more midfielders. Don't mind if I diddly do 1 more midfielder. I'm slightly disappointed. Because if I analyse the situation in midfield, 2 more reinforcements makes me believe that, okay, even if we get injuries this season, we did everything we possibly could to maximise the squad. Now I cannot go with FSG for the midfield situation alone. Lord Org says, would it be smarter to buy 2 first-team midfielders, 1 backup, and move Trent into midfield and then buy a right-back? Chat, let me know. That's a great comment. I would buy 2 first-team midfielders, no doubt. No matter what you do with Trent, I'm buying 2 first-team midfielders. Do I move Trent in midfield? I was thinking about this earlier, so it was a good question. I was thinking about that earlier. Do you know who else I got reminded of earlier? Just a quick side note. Oscar. Do you remember Oscar, who went to China in like 2014, but he was boss before 2014? And China started buying loads of players, doing what Saudi Arabia are doing now. Speaking of Saudi Arabia, signing Benzema and Alexis Sanchez. They're flexing them themselves, you know what I mean? And Liverpool can't even go out and buy Thuram. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, I like the idea of Trent in midfield. I'd at least want to see it, but before I can commit to such a thing of Trent starting week in, week out in a more centred position, I need to see it work first. I need to see who the right back is going to be. So I wouldn't mind trying it. And yes, I do think a right back would be smart. Regardless whether you move Trent to right back or not, I believe Trent has his liabilities. I think competition is important in all areas. If he's kept at right back, still go out and get a Pavard. Or whoever you want. I don't know great right backs at the top of my head. You can help me out. But I'm just saying, whoever that right back is, go and get that competition. Bring them into the squad. And let's see what can be done. And then if Trent gets moved to midfield, boom, now you can put him in the right back position and he can fit in fine. And then you've still got the likes of Joe Gomez, who can interchange as one of the backup right backs. Then you've got Calvin Ramsey, who's a year better. Connor Bradley, who's just had a great season with Bolton. So yeah, we'll see how all that goes. But yeah, I think it's a great question. You know, Trent Alexander-Arnold in midfield is something that's been spicy on a lot of people's tongues. For me, I believe we see a lot of great things out of Trent in the inverted right back role. And if you had a right centre mid who was willing to cover with legs, like a Kone, who could cover in that right back position, not be a right back, cover in the right back position when Trent bombs forward, I think that's what we need in the midfield, because that's what Jordan Henderson done so well, whereas he can't do it as efficiently anymore. Techers Dave, my guy, I've missed you, fam. Hammers, who do you think should get Bobby Shirt next season? Bobby Shirt, number 9. Oh, are we willing to offer the number 9 that soon? It's a prestigious shirt, you know. We've had some big names in the number 9 in previous history, Fernando Torres being one. Who else? Now I'm blanking. Robbie Fowler, of course. That's a bit of an obvious one. Ian Rush. He was before my time, but I can be saying Ian Rush was a number 9 for Liverpool, can't I? I don't want to go as far to say Kenny Dalglish, because I'm pretty certain he was number 7. I know he was number 7. Dum James, but well done for remembering. Now, you know what? I wouldn't give it out now, because I don't think Gakpo or Nunez have displayed anything of note or of worth to be able to suggest that they deserve to be the out-and-out number 9 for Liverpool. In terms of a confidence boost, fine, but we kind of tried that with Naby Keita. Let's let these players earn the shirt type idea, you know. I don't want to just give them out willy-nilly and then boom, they just own the shirt, and then you've got to replace them in a year's time, but the number 9 shirt's already taken, and then what? You do a petty thing like take the shirt off them and give it to the new signing. How about we see if they've earned it originally? Because I don't think Darwin's done that. I think you need to be at least a 20-goal-a-season striker before you receive Liverpool's number 9 shirt, and then people will respond to me saying, but Roberto Firmino wearing a 20-goal-a-season striker, but there was at least a season where he scored 20 goals for Liverpool. So if Nunez gets 20 goals for Liverpool and he's out-and-out number 9 in the future, which he's probably going to be, whether you like it or you don't, then yeah, I'd give him the number 9. He's more of the number 9 profile that I'm talking about, because Gakpo's more creative, more outside, you know, number 10 winger. And he does a job in the 8. I like Gakpo, but I wouldn't give him the number 9. Different number. Genie replacement. We've needed a Genie replacement. We need way too wavy says we need 3 midfielders, 2 defenders, 1 backup right back and 1 centre back. Yeah, I get you, man. I get you. I agree. I think a centre back's essential. I'm not really seeing, guys. Are we linked with any centre backs? Who's that Liverpool fan who plays for? Is it Wolfsburg? I believe he plays for Wolfsburg. Van Sutton. Also, who's coming back from loan? Do you know when it comes to centre-backs coming back? Obviously, Reece Williams has been out on loan, but I don't know if he's improved to a point where he can be an option at centre-back. Sepp van der Berg. Has anyone been doing a loan watch on Sepp van der Berg? That's who I'm talking about. Van der Ven. That's the guy who I'm talking about from Wolfsburg, I believe. And we're linked with him, and he was a Liverpool fan, and I've never watched him. Don't know if he's good or not, but one thing I do know is that he's apparently got a decent resume, so we'll see if time goes by, and if Madke wants to go in for that player, then we'll see. But yeah, it's Sepp van der Berg out on loan, because it's very important to analyse who's coming back from loan, because these are the players that we're going to sell, and therefore coup funds. It's very, because, you know, we're sell to buy, so we need to get funds out of the club to bring in players, and also increase wages, so therefore letting wages go out the club. So I'm intrigued to know if Liverpool have got any plans for these loan players, because Tyler Morton a year ago, he was being praised to be the next Jordan Henderson or something like this. Next thing you know, he's out on loan at Blackburn. Now we've got Stefan Bajcetic. What does that mean for Tyler Morton? Does that mean that he comes back into the team? Does it mean that he's now out of the team? What does it mean? But what's the correlation and what's the plans? Because Jurgen Klopp was of high praise, and then this season he spoke about Bajcetic like Bajcetic is Xabi Alonso. And everyone knows that they've got the link between Thiago and Bajcetic's dad and Thiago's dad, and they're all boss. Not in a weird way, I'm just saying in a family way. I believe the friends, I believe the cousins. Anyway, Des says, I think a big problem with the midfield is that they are all is the big word, injury prone. I don't think Thuram has an injury record. He is also 22. Let's not rule out the like Joe Gomez never had an injury record coming into the club yet. Look what he's done since. He hasn't barely played a fucking game. I believe Danny Ings as well was also another player who didn't really have let me know if I'm wrong on this, but I believe Danny Ings actually has an okay injury record before Liverpool. No, maybe I'm wrong there, but I believe it was all right, and the next thing you know, we never played a game. James, how do Liverpool get the best out of McAllister? The best way for me in Liverpool's system, because that's what we're going to talk about, because you can say what I would do. Oh, move Trent in midfield and play Thuram here and this, that and the other. With McAllister, we play him in the number 8. We play him in the role that we've attempted to play Thiago for. So from the day that we got rid of Gini, there was clearly a change attempted to be made in terms of the style, and that was by bringing in someone of a creative ilk like Thiago, not in a sense of where he's going to get 20 assists, but he's the man before the assist. He's the guy who's going to keep everything together. He's going to find the pass that nobody else sees. And here's the thing about Thiago, he was that guy. He just could not be that guy consistently. And in today's football, where there's a game every week, a league game every week, then you've got a Champions League game to accommodate, in our case next season Europa League, and then you've got the League Cup and FA Cup, and if you're a top team, you're competing in all of those competitions. Thiago being available once every 3 games or 4 games or 5 games with the odd 6-week spell out on the sidelines is not good enough. But it is good enough if he's a number 2 option, if he's sitting on the bench, and it's weird to say that Thiago on the bench. But Kante, for instance, I think he's going to Saudi Arabia as well, jeez Louise. But I mean, if he was to stay at Chelsea, he'd be that type of player, coming in and out, and that's a good name to have, N'Golo Kante on the bench, coming in and out. So I don't mind that Thiago on the bench, happy all day, not a problem at all. And then you play McAllister in that role, because that's the thing, that's what we've been looking for, is that creative spark with a little bit of intelligence, bit more technique than what Gini Wijnaldum had originally. And because Fabinho and Henderson aren't superior when it comes to technique, it's good to have a different type of player, and that's why McAllister, someone who's Premier League proven, World Cup winner, you see it in the thumbnail, he's lifting the cup with Messi, he's a big, big deal, and Messi has gave him high praise. Do you know who else gave him high praise? Adam Lallana. Now here's the thing, you might not think Adam Lallana like a household name at Liverpool. Let me know if this is a W or an L, chat. One of the most silkiest ballers that I've ever played for Liverpool in recent times, like in the Premier League era. When it comes to an all-round player, silk on the ball, finds on the passes, unbelievable baller. Just had a problem with the injuries. But when we signed Lallana from Southampton, oh, he was saucy. And was it 15-16 where Lallana was like peak Lallana? 15-16, I believe it was. Or 16-17 it might have been. But Lallana was amazing for one season. Remember when he scored the goal against Norwich in the 5-4 game? It was just one of those things. It was unbelievable to see. So, yeah, Lallana was a baller. He was absolutely fantastic, to be honest with you. He was absolutely fantastic. And he was a guy who was high praise for McAllister as well. So if these are the type of guys who are talking about McAllister in a certain ilk, that's the type of player I want in my midfield, man. I believe we've identified a gem before he becomes that well-round name, that guy who's in the field of the big names. I think this is another Mane. I think we've identified someone good here, chat, and I don't usually put myself out on the line like this, but for 35 to 40 million, whatever it's being talked about, insane numbers in today's market for a World Cup winner, when you're a Europa League team, come on. This is really, really good stuff. So, out of 10, let me know what you think of the McAllister signing, but I think he fits in very, very well at the club. Do you think we see a change in formation or stick with a 4-3-3? With a false 9 and a holding midfielder? I think we change it up, but why can you not change it up? Why can't you revert to a plan B and a plan A? It doesn't have to be one plan all the time. It doesn't have to always be high line. It doesn't have to always be heavily possession-based football. Sometimes it can be counter-attack football. And here's the thing, formations to me don't matter heavily. It's more about the tactics and the setup. You can have a formation all you want, but the formation isn't what wins you the game. It's the way you maximise the formation with the specific players that you've got. So I don't care about a formation change. You can do a 4-3-3 4-3-3 and then interchange between the game where you revert to a back three. And instead of Fabinho playing at number 6, he now plays as a dropped-in centre-back. Van Dijk goes a little bit more out. Konate goes this way. 3 at the back. Trent, Robbo, bomb forwards. And then you've got the 2 in midfield, Kone and Thuram in our case. And then in the front 3, you've got Salah, Nunez, whoever Diaz. It doesn't need to be it. It doesn't need to line up before the game as a 3-5-2 or a whatever lineup you prefer. I'm happy with it being 4-3-3. I just care about how we play. When Gini left the team, it was still the same formation. But when you bring in Thiago, it significantly changes the energy which is shown in midfield. And I think we saw that very soon after Gini left, how quick the energy levels dropped. It was quite mad, to be fair. And we have shown less energy in recent seasons, which is crazy because we're still getting injuries. Guardiola said he loved watching Liverpool as a kid, according to Fabrizio. I can't say that analogy, James. Calm yourself down, son. Fucking hell. And I've got to ease my way back into this YouTube thing. Pretty much, it doesn't matter. That's what I'm trying to say. I believe there's been people before who have bad boyhood. Jude Bellingham supports Birmingham. He's not going to play for Birmingham. It's just one of those things. I also don't think we are looking to get him. So even though with the right wage, I believe we could get him. With the right resource, I think we can get him. I don't think we can get him because I don't think our club is looking at someone like Guardiola, who's one of the most, let's be real, one of the top prospects as a centre-back in the current game, and then you're thinking about paying 200 grand a week. That's just not what FSG do off the bat, and not a chance. Especially when you'll get teams like Barcelona probably knocking on the door in a year or two, or Bayern Munich, or just a big team. PSG are going to be looking for centre-backs before you know it, because they're always looking for players. Yeah, it's just one of those. Kyle Walker-Peters. I like that name, chat. What are we saying on Kyle Walker-Peters? I like that name. It's not my numero uno, but it's not a bad name. Would be a good cheap signing for the right-back cover. Homegrown and could play right and left. Here's the thing about Kyle Walker. Talking about that homegrown thing that we were talking about earlier. He's that. Not only is he a homegrown player, he's also somebody who adheres to the style of right-back that we like, more attacking, could do better defensively, but still kind of solid. And then I also like the fact he's going to be much cheaper because he's at Southampton, so why not jump on a transfer like that? I don't think that'd be a bad shout, you know. Bully Southampton for another player. Don't mind if I diddly do. TJ Warren, thank you for becoming a member. Really appreciate it. If you want to become a member, do it for a little bit of extra support. Yeah, man, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it when you're all getting on board, supporting the channel. You're absolute legends. I'm saying we switched the CDM in our 4-3-3 to a centre mid. Okay, so no longer a number 6. On Thuram, Kone and McAllister in our 3-man midfield. I suppose so, but again, we can just interchange throughout the game, and I prefer doing it that way. I think it's better for the game plan, better for the plan B, and you know, you're always facing different styles nowadays, so it's important that you've got these various lineups that you can go with. Me too, mate, and if we don't go out and buy the best players, how are we meant to keep up with the likes of Manchester City and Real Madrid? We need to spend the trophy money we've won. It's just the thing. Where is that money? The money doesn't exist, or it's not now Liverpool's money. It might have been Liverpool's money, but it's not now. It's FSG's money, which should mean it's our money as well, but it's not. It's just not the case. Listen, they do great at profiting. We're just not the type of club who's going to go out and buy big players, guys. It's just one of those. The biggest name that we've ever bought is Thiago, and we bought him when he was 31, and he was £20 million. Come on. Like, I'm just saying that we're not that team. We're not that team that goes out and gets Casemiros and stuff like that. So we do need to really hope that we get Thuram and Kone. And then we also need to hope that these guys end up fulfilling and being the players that they could be. Because, for instance, Mario mentioned to me earlier, Joshua Kimmich. Oh, the inner voice laughed. Oh, it chuckled. And here's the thing. I would love a Kimmich. In my opinion, actually probably the best in both of his positions that he plays, in the number 6 and right back. I believe he's up there with a shout. But he's just on a field that we just don't search in. And it's a big shame, because I think that holds you back from winning constantly. I think that holds you back from, you know, consistent success, not being able to bring, you know, some of the hottest names in the country right now. But even like Jude Bellingham, you know, for instance, when City signed De Bruyne was good, but he weren't De Bruyne. And Bellingham isn't what Bellingham could be. The way Bellingham could be looked at in 2-3 years is, You'll look back at this time and think, wow, he was still a kid. The same way you did at De Bruyne when he was at Wolfsburg, but he was the guy, man. You could tell he was the guy. You could tell he was the person. So, I don't know. I hope Liverpool change the strategy soon enough. I am not going to lie. Someone's talking about Hendo. Rosa Monday agreed. I like Henderson, but I see him taking the Milner role. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I want Henderson gone next season. Not this season, coming up next season, so we can have one more year and then Dusty go to Sunderland. And not in a horrible way. I just think, if you're going to maintain the standards and you're going to keep them up at the club, you're going to need to get rid of players like Jordan Henderson. It just is what it is. If we keep making decisions based off emotion, if we keep making football and business decisions based off of emotion, and it's because he's been at the club and he's done this, that is when you start to fall down a pedigree like what we have done in recent years. So I do really believe let's let Henderson go after a year. Let me know if you agree or disagree. James, thoughts on Gal? Oh yeah, I think I've answered that question, haven't I? I do believe I've answered that question. I've missed out loads here as well. James Redmond is hot. That's such a weird name, but I agree. Thoughts on how Carvalho has been treated this season? And would you keep loan or sell now? I'd loan him out because I'd hate the idea of him going and then he becomes really good and we never at least had an option to keep him. But do I believe he's being mistreated? Very hard to know on the minimal information. I've seen people trying to blame it on Pep Lijnders, and I don't believe there's any substance to blame it on Pep Lijnders. And I think if there's no evidence to back up certain claims or even add to your claims, I believe that's just something that we need to leave to the club. Because I can sit here and speculate. It could be many things, but I don't want to speculate. I just believe it's one of those where, listen, maybe Klopp genuinely didn't see him part of the system, and that's kind of what Klopp has, sort of hinted at. It's that he's just not we don't play with a number 10. Carvalho maximises his performances in a number 10. And I know we got the goal against Newcastle and stuff like this, but I don't think he's that good. Like, he's a good player. And I hope it works out. I believe it can. I just don't think he's people are devastated over this Fabio Carvalho stuff. Calm the fuck down. I mean, if we won the league and the Champions League, nobody will care about Fabio Carvalho. And that's not because he's a horrible person. But why we care about Fabio Carvalho is because he was this next gem. We have to work on a budget, so even if it is somebody for 7.7 million like Carvalho was, then we really hope that they can get in the first team straight away. When it doesn't happen, it's got to be someone's fault and who treated them badly. Not the case. It's just, he weren't good enough right now. I don't know why people are so upset over the Carvalho thing, because if we was performing the way we should be performing, you wouldn't be thinking about Carvalho. The same way... what Carvalho is now is what Brewster was when he was coming through the academy. No one gave a fuck about Brewster when he was lifting his Champions League medal up in barbershops because he never played and he never needed to. Because we had Origi, we had Sturridge, we had Firmino. That's the sort of idea that I'm getting at. Do you think that the Anfield Road expansion and the window money we have spent this coming season will give us a lot less money to spend in future windows with FSG owners? The only way we're going to amplify spending is if we get investors, because we've already identified these are not going to sell. We need investors, otherwise you're going to see what you've been seeing, and that's just the way it is. And it's unfortunate, but it's just the way it is. I can't break it down any more simple. Nunez makes Lukaku look clear. We're not doing the Nunez conversation. Do we do the Nunez conversation again? I feel like I've told you pretty straight by now. How many seasons will it take for him to be able to trap a ball and shoot on target? I tried to sell you this. You could see this at Benfica, but you all went off one minuscule performance at Anfield when he played a team. A guy with 99 plays played a team who has the highest high line in Europe. A guy with 99 pace played the team who had the highest high line in Europe, and you're saying to me, we had a world-class performance, so we needed to spend that much money. I tried to tell you fools. And then he scored less than 20 goals. I was at least guaranteed 20 goals. I was truthful on my part. You weren't truthful in yours. I agree, yeah. His shootings and his consistency of shootings being atrocious. Would you sell him now and buy... we will not get anywhere near the money that we spent on Nunez. There's going to be no buyers in Europe who's going to be willing to spend that money. Would I sell him? I wouldn't have bought him. So no, I wouldn't sell him now because it wouldn't make sense. It makes zero sense. And again, there's no buyers. You might as well try and get one good season where he might actually hit the 20-goal target that everyone set for him originally. And then if he gets that boom, maybe the value goes up. And if you still don't like him stylistically, that adheres to the system, then you let him go. And that's why I don't like him. I believe a player like that brings down the overall benefit of the squad, unless he's doing his job like Salah, which is, actually achieving the volume of goals which you need to be if you lack that much technically. And because Nunez could have had 30 goals this season, and he didn't. Why? Because of his finishing. What's one of the hardest things to improve in football? Finishing. Think back, if there's any 30, 40-year-olds watching, think back to when you were 20, think back to your finishing, and now think of your finishing when you're 30 and 40. I guarantee it never got much better, if better at all. I'm just being honest. If you play football your entire life, trained every single day of your life, and your finishing is that at the age of 20 or 21, it will remain that. It will maybe get 5% better, and even 5% better is only 20 goals, potentially, because we still don't know. I understand he had injuries and he played less games, so it's a little bit unfair. But guys, let's hold Liverpool to the highest standards. I'm not talking about a team that's had Romelu Lukaku up front, for instance. I'm not talking about a team that's had, what's his name, Johnson up front, or Luis Saha up front, or good strikers. But we're not talking about Robbie Fowlers. We're not talking about Luis Suarez. We're not talking about Fernando Torres in the building. We're not talking about man like Michael Owen when he was fucking 17, turning up the fucking Premier League. We're not talking about the who's like Daniel Sturridge, who, even though he couldn't barely play a game, we knew how elite he was and how much his conversion rate was there. So I can't accept Darwin Nunez just to be the guy because people want him to be the guy and he's got passion. I need Darwin Nunez to prove to me that he's the guy. And then these words will go. It's just how it is. With good performances comes less criticism. It's just that it comes hand in hand in football. And it's, I'm not abusive. I'm just calling him straight. He can't finish a fucking dinner. He can't. And you could see that before. And he hasn't improved much since. He still misses big chances. So we'll see. We'll see. Enjoy Europa League. We'll make it look cool, unlike Hughes. Hughes made it look like England's were terrible, whereas at least us, we put a fight up on our European front, 4 European finals under Jurgen Klopp, whereas I don't know who you support, whether it's Arsenal or United. Let's be honest, you're wasting the competition's time and your own, because what have Arsenal and Manchester United done in a European competition in recent times? Arsenal got bummed by Chelsea 4-0 in a Europa League final. And then Manchester United got battered by Alberto Moreno. So come on, let's not talk about European heritage. And yeah. I mean, it's like, we're in a competition, we're never going to win. At least if we were in it, even in this form, we'd still have a chance of winning it, because that's just the way it works for Liverpool. Apologies, brother. You thought you'd done something. It's one trophy Klopp hasn't won for us. He is a genius for aiming for 5th, getting it. That's a troll, I know, so I'm not going to go in on that. But if you were being serious, I'm heavily disappointed. Low-key, it would be mad if that was the method to the madness. But I asked this question earlier to Mario, because he was like, listen, lad, in his like Italian Scouse accent. He was like, listen, lad, I think Klopp is going to win the Europa League this season. And that's the one that he never got. And I said, well, using that premise, do you want us to finish 7th so we can win the Europa Conference League? I don't think it matters that he hasn't won the Europa League. He's won the Champions League, the creme de la creme. It's like saying, Klopp hasn't won the Championship. He's won the Premier League. Who cares? He hasn't won the Champion. He never needs to win the He just needs to win the Premier League. He doesn't need to win the Europa League. If we win the Europa League, I'm only going to be happy because it's going to be in Dublin. And I am going to be there with my Dublin brothers getting fucking off it, yeah? Not off it like that, because I don't do that and you shouldn't, because I'll be heavily disappointed if you do. But I am talking about chucking about 12 down. And you shouldn't do that either, but it can't be a perfect influence, you know what I mean? Anyway... Let's have a look at these comments. Love Lordog with the consistency of comments tonight. And I'm sorry if I am missing your comments. We've had loads and I'm trying to maintain. We've got 340 people. Smash a like or two. Come on. Do you think we win the Europa League, or treat it as a chance to play the youngsters like Kelleher, Ramsey, Bajcetic the whole way through? No, not the whole way through. If you get to the quarterfinals, take it serious. But yeah, in the group stage, I'm very happy with that. And if we get knocked out, I couldn't care less. I think Nunez has a massive heart. No. We signed a charity fundraiser. Oh my days, we signed a sprinter. We signed John Cena because he never gives up. I'm on it. He'll contribute. He's got heart. He's got heart. Who cares? Because he's a Uruguayan fart. I don't care if he's got heart. I just care about goals. Stop telling me about heart. And he can't speak English. That's why he can't finish. Just leave me alone. And when he starts scoring goals, I'll jump on the bandwagon, mate. I promise you, honestly. You won't find a bigger flip-flop in football than me, mate. You will not find a bigger flip-flop in football than me. I will come on this platform and call Darwin Nunez the best football player in the world if he goes out and scores Salah numbers. If he gets Salah numbers, best believe I'm taking the piss. Because I've got two sides. I've got Jekyll and Hyde type idea. I've got me realistic side to where I just can't accept Darwin Nunez jokes at the moment. And then I've got this bullshit side to where if he has one good season, that's it, you're fucked. That's all I need. That's all I need for ammo. I've got no ammo at the moment, and Nunez needs to provide me the ammo. So then when opposition fans have a go at me, I can then say, nah, Darwin Nunez is boss because of this. I feel you have to give Nunez time. I'm sick of this. He came into a team not playing great, fair enough. And at the min, he still got 16 goals, which isn't great. When we are playing like he can get more goals, and that's just me. I think that's what it says along the lines. Fair dues. Omar says, don't you think we should sign a right back? I do think we should sign a right back. We answered that one before, to be fair. James, who would have you signed instead of Darwin Nunez? Oh, there's a few players I would have signed at the time. I would have signed Osimhen over Darwin Nunez at that time. I would have signed Isaac before Newcastle got him at that time. I think Isaac's much better than Darwin Nunez. There's quite a few. I mean, because now we're a year gone by, I can't remember the names who ended up moving, so maybe it's getting jangled in my brain. But I remember thinking of 4 or 5 players that I would have took over Darwin Nunez. I was taking it a bit far at some points, like, you know what I mean? But it was only because I really didn't want him. I didn't like the stylistic player. And I've remained consistent. I thought people would respect my consistency. But apparently not. Apparently it means you're negative. And when I called Manny the best player in the world, apparently that was great. But, you know, if you're honest about someone, and I don't know. James, please no Nunez talk this night. Festus, it's not my fault. You bring him up and you say that he's boss and he's the almighty and he's all wearing Nunez PJs and thongs. I don't give a fuck because Darwin Nunez was something. He's been exactly what I expected Darwin Nunez to be. I'm not hating on him. I'm just saying he's actually over-delivered. He scored 2 more goals than what I thought he would have. But everyone else said he was going to get 10, 15 more goals than what he's got, so I don't know. And Cuckoo in the false 9 would get me feeling good, but I know, but he's at Chelsea now, so that's not happening, and I'm really worried that like our fans just want big signings. The mental health is going to be down the fucking drain by the time the season finishes because we're not getting some of these names that you all want. Jude Bellingham was the first letdown, and Mbappe was the first letdown. Bellingham, and yeah, this is our golden era. Who's our best signing in the golden era? Do you know, like, while we've been winning trophies? Obviously, Van Dijk and Alisson, they were the ones who got us to winning trophies. Who, while we have won, like, since we've been Premier League champions, who's been our best signing? Jota. Has it been Jota? Guys, who's been our best signing since we won the league? Because there hasn't been a great track record, I don't think. I mean, the jury's still out on some players like Diaz and Kanate and stuff. But who's been the best signing? Diaz. We're saying Diaz, Thiago. My first thought was Thiago, to be honest. I think Thiago's done more than Diaz. In the Liverpool shirt, I think Thiago's done more than Diaz. Gakpo? No. He's done good for his first couple of months. Say best signing? No. Too small of a window. Kanate's a shout. Jota. I think Jota's the guy, really. Nah, Jota. He scored 20 goals before January in his, like, first full season or something. Or second season, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's got to be Jota based on that. He actually over-delivered in comparison to all of the signings. Thiago under-delivered. Diaz has probably delivered about right, I think. I think we were expecting big things from Diaz, and then we've got about what we've expected. I'm still hoping to see a little bit more from Luis Diaz, I'm not going to lie, but he has been injured. But yeah, I'd go with Jota. I think Jota's Arthur. Cobbler. You are smoking the cobbler, blood. Anyway, where's Omar? Because I saw you, Omar. People need to grow up and realise Maguire is not crap and just United know how to use him. Omar, fuck off. Come on. Let's call a spade a spade. He's absolutely dog shite. I appreciate everyone having an opinion, and believe me, you won't find a bigger advocate for free speech than me. But Harry Maguire is dog right. Did you see that Spurs want Harry Maguire? Is that a thing, chat? Do Spurs actually want Harry Maguire? Is that a legit direct link between Spurs and this new Celtic manager that they've got, and now Harry Maguire? Because if so, that is high on crack cocaine, and we cannot be living in a real world. James wants Maguire over Virgil van Dijk. I'd take Phil Jones over Harry Maguire, that's for sure. I'm not taking Harry Maguire anywhere near my team. I'm sorry, I don't understand. It's one of those things. There's just certain. Remember the fella who pretended to be Weah's grandson or son at Southampton? Do you remember that? The guy who was trying to pretend that he was Weah's cousin or something, and he was shite. Maguire's done that times a million and no one talks about it, and it's brilliant to see. Honestly, I can appreciate a mastermind, but not if it goes against the benefit of my team. James, who do you think we will start him if you... I've answered this, I think. If we get them, who's going to be the starting three? I haven't answered that question, actually. I'm going to say Fabinho. Who you think we will start, not who I would start. Fabinho. If we get Kone... And chat, answer this question as well. Who do you think will start if we get Kone, Thuram? We've already got McAllister, and then all the other midfielders. Who would be the starting midfield three? I'd go Fabinho. I don't know how good Kone and Thuram are yet, so I've got to put one of them in. I'll go with Kone because I'm slightly edging towards Kone. I'll say Kone, Fabinho, and Thiago if he's fit. If he's not fit, then put in Thuram. That's what I'd say. Because you can't forget about Thiago. You know, Thiago's greatest ability is availability, because everything else speaks for itself. The ability on the ball speaks for itself. So if he's available, I don't mind playing Thiago. James, lads, hope this isn't a one-off stream. I know, yeah. Don't worry, it won't be Techers Dave. It actually won't be, for sure. But don't take me word for it. I'll let my actions speak loud. The boss these streams, and I don't do them enough. You're right. Can't wait for the first game of the season. Henderson, Fabinho, and Elliott. The underwhelming thing of like when you get a bunch of new toys, you walk into your room, the first ones you see is just all the old Power Rangers that you used to have. It's like, what the fuck, mum? The new Power Rangers is out now. You know what I mean? Just being a spoiled little brat. Omar says, James, if you say don't do if buts and maybes, I do absolutely. I just said it, and you never even got charged, you lucky bastard. Fab Mac Thuram, yeah, I agree. Thuram, actually, I'm not too sure. I'm going to go with Kone above him for now. Do you think we will get the 5 players we need? No. Usually with Liverpool, they underachieve in one aspect or another. There's never been a season where I can sit there and say it's been a perfect season. Well, actually, when we nearly won the quadruple, that was as close as it was getting. But in terms of a window, it's never... In fact, it's happened once where we've overachieved in a window. Where we got, like, Fabinho, Allister, loads of big players came in that window. Nearly got Nabil Fekir. I think we ended up getting Shaqiri, who I was still very happy with at the time. I thought he added very much so to the depth. So, yeah, and I'm sort of in terms of all 5, I doubt it. But... honestly, I've seen the best windows for Liverpool have came when we haven't had great seasons. So let's see how the method to the madness works on this one. Do you think we'll get Pavard or Gravenberch? I'd love both. I don't think we'll get any. I think the Gravenberch is just paper talk because he's had a little bit of a thing with Bayern Munich, but I think they're going to give him a chance. And then Pavard, that's more possible, but I doubt it. I think we'll go for a different profile at right back. How surreal was the John Cena video? I'm not a fanboy, but that was nuts. I am a fanboy, and that was nuts. Yeah, that was crazy. I couldn't believe it when I woke up and saw the video. And it's really cool as well, the way he acknowledged the wit. I know that he called me a 3-year-old, then a 2-year-old, then a 1-year-old, but I appreciated the joke there. As somebody who... I like the promo game, you know what I mean? I like WWE and UFC, and I like that world where, you know, there's entertainment, and I think John Cena understood the premise of the Mane video, which was cool to see. And if you haven't saw that video, just type in John Cena, James Redmond on TikTok, and I'm sure it'll pop up, or a different platform, and it'll come up. Yeah, that was mad. And he tried to do a Scouse accent, which was A for effort, to be fair. Guys, I see some people leaving, some people coming in, more people coming in now, geez. Smash a like on your way in or on your way out. Gets the stream out there a little bit more. Just means I can do more content and whatnot. Really does help the channel. James, what centre-back would you like to bring in? I like the look of Medina from Lens, Argentina, left-sided centre-back. I haven't seen Medina. I have seen Medina. I'm not too sure. Need to watch more of the guy. but I know I'm familiar with the name and the face. The season we sold Ian Rush to Juventus, we brought in Beardsley, Barnes, Aldridge. Ooh, even I am familiar with a lot of these names, and I'm not even born in that generation. That is a saucy little window. By the way, John Barnes, you know, Jamie Carragher said it greatly the other day, and I've watched countless clips of John Barnes, because people forget, like, you know, what did older people say? They say, oh, you weren't born in that generation, so you can't know if they were good or not. Like, telly is a thing, mate, you know what I mean? I know you could only watch it once every couple of years, but we have got a thing called YouTube. Keep up with the programme. I'll time it. Anyway, it's like, you know, I go back and watch John Barnes, and just what a player. So silky. Carragher said it best, just like kind of the Thierry Henry of that era. You know, he would have been my favourite player growing up. I don't even care. Stylistically, such a beautiful player to watch is John Barnes, and that was a great window. What's your opinion on Tielemans for free? I can't believe we're not, like, even jumping on that. But I believe a bigger team will get him. I can see someone in France, or because he's from Belgium, isn't he? I can see a German team, French team. I think that's his market. I don't think anyone in the Prem's going to be really eyeing him up. I mean, I think he'd suit Newcastle or something, but I don't think we'll get Tielemans. I do believe he lacks the work rate, and now that we've got McAllister, I don't feel Tielemans as much. So yeah, I've just read that comment there. James, you're a celebrity. At this point, you have been mentioned by the Sidemen, John Cena, and everyone. Yeah, I'm a massive one-hit wonder. That Manny video was just never went, and luckily I've been able to build a very great platform like this, you know, my own little YouTube channel. But yeah, that video was nuts. It just went too big. We'll get more of those moments, trust me. You'll remember the days where it was just us and 200 of us, like, just doing a little stream. Watch when it goes to the thousands. It'll be... You guys can say you were here all the time. James, do you think that McAllister is the only signing, knowing we have Bajcetic and Elliott? It wouldn't fucking surprise me, you know, but nah, I'd be gobsmacked if he was the only player that we had. James, is there any players you would like us to get that we haven't been linked with? Oh, there's a lot of players, but they're all unrealistic, fella, so I can't even tell you them, because, I mean, I could go all day. There's loads of players I'd like. Who do you think? Kelleher playing in goal in the Europa League matches? Yeah, I'll do that. I think he's earned that. Also, the finals in Dublin. Oh, my days, yeah, you've got to do that. What are you saying, chat? And also, Kelleher's backed himself in these finals, mate. He was in the FA Cup final, no? And he played a couple of League Cup games. Also, not. He was in the League Cup games, and then he played a couple of games in the FA Cup as well, and he smashed it every time. Conceded 4 on the last day of the season, but otherwise I've been very impressed with Kelleher, so yeah, I'm down. We'll do a couple more and then we'll round up. James, honest opinions on Bajcetic? Big fan. I think we need to be careful, not rush into it. I think Liverpool have a big tendency. Liverpool fans have a big tendency to jump on these players too soon. I saw it a little bit with Tyler Morton last year. This year, I believe we've seen it a little bit more with Bajcetic. So, I'm intrigued to see what Bajcetic can do. I believe he's got a lot more technical ability. He looks a lot more mature. Great composure for a player his age. Let's see if he can put it together. Stay away from injuries, stay fit, get a bit of game time, and we'll see how it goes. I'd be intrigued to see if we loan him out, to be honest, but I doubt it. I think he's going to be the backup number 6, and I'm just wondering if people genuinely think he's going to be good enough to replace somebody of Fabinho's ilk. Whether it's now or next season when Fabinho gets changed, will Bajcetic be the guy for him? I'm not too sure. I mean, it'll be crazy thoughts to see. I haven't saw that level of player from him yet, but I believe he has the potential to become that. Thoughts on Jones back end of the season? Great. I'm a big fan of Jones. I've always mentioned with consistency, this is a player. I've just only ever questioned whether he can do it consistently because we've never saw it, and if we've never saw it, we can't know. He's always struggled when he's had just patches of games, but at the end of the season, he was great. He was our best midfielder by far, to be honest. James, what's your thoughts on Ugarte going to Chelsea? Is it Chelsea? Why did I think Ugarte was going to PSG? I could have swore I saw something about that. I definitely wanted him at Liverpool, but hopefully... Yeah, exactly. I wanted Ugarte. He was somebody who I wanted. He's the type of player that I was confident could replace Fabinho, not only in the long term, but the short term. I don't think Bajcetic could do that. But I need to see more. Looking forward to the future of Bajcetic. True. And also, you'll never know with someone like Bajcetic if you don't give him a shot. So, if we're going to see him as the starting DM, Cream will always rise to the top. I want to see him a lot more next season. If not, then yeah, you're just going to need to go out and buy a new DM, I think. No, it's PSG. I thought it was PSG. If you come Dublin, you are invited to my house from a nice Libyan field. Oh, jeez, thank you, my friend. Appreciate that, Mo. I've had quite a few people invite me, like, to the gaffs in Ireland, so I hope we get to the Europa League final, because that's like a second home for Scousers. Did you want Everton to go down? Of course, of course. I don't care if the Scousers, that club just deserves it. It's one of those things. They'd want the same for me. I want the same for them. It would have been funny. But fair play. Sean Dyche at the wheel. Who makes the better right back? Conor Bradley, Gomez, or Calvin Ramsey? I saw Gomez the most, so I'm going to say Gomez. But out of Calvin Ramsey and Conor Bradley, I've got to go with Bradley. But that being said, yeah, this is the way we break it down with these players. So Gomez, I think, has done quite well at right back at times and then quite average at others. And then you've got Conor Bradley, who had a great season with Bolton last year, got the player of the season, got them promoted to the Championship. Like a huge deal, huge season for Conor Bradley. And then Calvin Ramsey had an okay, in fact, a pretty good season for Aberdeen before he joins us. I'd say Gomez is the least actual right back out of those three, I suppose. The other two are right backs only. So I'll say Conor Bradley, but I think Gomez is the best player of the three. Need to see more of both Ramsey and Bradley. But out of Bradley and Ramsey, I'd go with Bradley. Bradley's just that guy. He's just got a bit more of a pedigree, and like Bolton fans really loved him. And Conor Bradley actually scored goals at Bolton last year. He was an attacking fullback, so don't sleep on the idea of him being started by Jurgen, trust me. Trust me, fella. Gonna see if there's any more mad questions. Bradley and Gomez are average. We need to move them. Yeah, I get it. If you want to hold yourself to the highest standards, then yeah, you get someone else in. Are you excited by Ben Doak? Love Ben Doak. Massive, the hugest of fans. Stylistically, the exact player I really like. And do you think we should use him more next season or still early? I'll be honest, right? I've always said I wouldn't mind using that, Harvey Elliott type winger, someone who's slightly more creative. Guys, I think Ben Doak has got more to his game. I do. I think Ben Doak's got a bit more to his game than Harvey Elliott, in the sense that if it doesn't work out for Harvey Elliott in midfield, I've never saw Jurgen Klopp use a right winger like Harvey Elliott. I've only ever seen him use volume wingers. Like when he was at Dortmund, I believe he used Aubameyang as a winger towards the end, and he's always had explosive wingers. In this case, Ben Doak is someone who's got pace, he's got dribbling, he's a tricky player, and he came from Celtic, and they rated him very highly at Celtic. And just go and watch clips of Ben Doak. He genuinely does look like somebody who is just, that kid in school who stands out. He's that guy, and he doesn't just stand out within the young players, he stands out within the big players. So I believe Ben Doak has got potential, and if Harvey Elliott can't solidify a place in the midfield like we all thought he could before he got an injury against Leeds, I believe that Ben Doak is the guy who's going to step up to the challenge to be that backup right back, if not the guy who replaces Salah when Salah leaves. So, not this season, but when he goes, I believe that's a big possibility for Doak, and I hope we give him the chance, because I love what I see. He's, in terms of all the youngsters, by far most excited with him, and then I'd probably go with Bajcetic. Those two right now, they're my guys in the academy that I'm rooting for, because if they become big names, there's some big assets that we're going to have at our disposal. James, take care. Off to the gym. My man Omar. Get those muscles, lad. Well done, and keep the grind up as well. It's good to see. Doak has insane potential, no fear, for sure. Guys, we'll leave it there. We answered loads of questions. We maintained about 300 people throughout the stream as well, which was great. If you can leave a comment, thank you so much. There's also a way you can support the channel by sending a super thanks after the stream. If you want to send that, I'll make sure to reply to it. Don't have to, and I wouldn't advise it if you're below like 18 or if you don't have your own job. Don't do it. Save your money. It's very important that you do these things. But yeah, that's just to let you know. If you want to support the channel, really appreciate it. Guys, smash a like. That means more than anything, and that's free. Subscribe. We've got like 100 subscribers today, which is crazy. So pick up yourselves and welcome if you're new. And yeah, man, more content tomorrow for sure. Much love to all of you, and I will see you all in a bizzle. Peace.